Welcome to the HONA Podcast.
With Mike and Chal.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Bit warm.
It's very warm today.
As everyone knows,
a bit.
we're in the midst of a heat wave.
Yeah.
And when your wife's pregnant, everything bothers her. So
Honestly, you don't hear the end of it at the
I
moment.
slept in the baby's bed last night. The baby was in there as well, mate, as well. I was in what was I?
You were
I was in it from like two till 4 in a 2-year-old's bed because Charlotte was too hot and I was apparently the radiator, so I got asked to leave. Anyway,
Off topic.
hope everyone's good. Thank you for joining us. If you don't already, make sure you like and subscribe, share us. It really, really makes a difference and we appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely, and it's really lovely to be back. And I think this sort of episode today we're going to kind of do in a similar style that we did the last one, in the fact that we haven't really got that much of a structure, but we wanted this to be, again, like a really open sort of conversation, because there was a post that was recently going around on Instagram, and I thought that that could be the sort of subject line for what we talk about today.
Yeah, and I love it when I see posts like this. It really, 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 like, it gets me going because it's what we talk about, and I really like seeing nail techs try and like force a narrative or to have a conversation about like making brands accountable and stuff like that. So when I see, because we've been doing it since day dot, when I see other nail techs, and especially nail techs I really respect doing it, it kind of resonates with me because it's what we do as well. So.
Absolutely. So to start then, the post that we saw the other day that actually we did end up commenting on, because I think, as Mike said, it was kind of very much our duty, very much our sort of place to sort of make a comment, because it is something that we believe in.
We have a voice and we're not afraid to use that voice. I know a lot of people disagree with our voice, but whether you disagree or not, having that conversation is extremely important, and we'll never shy away from having that conversation.
No.
So when we seen this, it really resonated with us.
Absolutely. So the post was, if you haven't seen it, it's from Samantha Cox, who, her Instagram, if you don't follow her, she's amazing, the Daily Nail Official.
She is, honestly, she is fab, ain't she?
Yeah, she is
I'm
fab.
so jealous she's not a HONA tech. Do you know what I mean? Like
she's a great tech, but she's great on Instagram
I think she's
as
a bio.
well.
I think she's a bio tech,
Yeah.
but she is great.
She is
great.
She is fantastic. So basically, the post was safe products, our duty or theirs? And the caption that she put was safe products and education, our duty or theirs? As nail techs, does our passion lie in creating beautiful nails only, or should this extend to decoding chemical formulas? We don't have lab coats, safety goggles, or chemistry degrees. We don't have the understanding to break down SDS sheets, and the education to do so just isn't there. I've always believed that our limitations end at application. Their responsibility begins at formulation and education. So here's my question. Should it be our job to investigate every ingredient in our gels, or should the brands we trust take full responsibility in ensuring their products are safe and ethical, with education practices that match manufacturers' guidelines? Who agrees? Where do our responsibilities as technicians end, and where should theirs begin?
So there's a lot to break down in there.
There's a lot to break down, but
it's a really, really good conversation. Yeah, and it's very relevant in the industry now.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the nail tech's responsibility? What is the brand's responsibility? And it is a minefield. So we have to be careful what we're saying here, because A, we don't want to bash anyone, and B, we don't want to be biased towards ourselves. And so we're going to try our hardest to really have a conversation openly and to try and discuss all angles, so a nail tech can understand where we stand, where Sam was trying to get with the point, and then you can make have the conversation. If you disagree with us, no problem. Like, let's have that conversation. But if you do agree with us, let us know in the comments. Right, so there's a lot to break down in that message, obviously, and Sam's one of those techs we highly respect as well. So I want to do it its due justice. Safe products, our duty or theirs is the main. And what she means by that is, like, is it the brand's responsibility to make sure that you are only always going to use safe products so you don't have to even give it a second thought? Or is it your responsibility to make sure that you're using safe products and not just trust the brand? I think if we just look at that subject, that little section on its own, I have a pretty strong opinion about it, obviously, and I know you do as well. And ultimately, it is the brand's responsibility to provide a safe product for nail techs. That's not to say nail techs shouldn't be aware, but ultimately, you should absolutely unequivocally trust and know that the products you are purchasing from whoever are accurate, truthful, and ultimately safe and follow all compliance. There's no grey area. That is 100% what I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think at the end of the day, it should do what it says on the tin. Like, you shouldn't have to go looking for anything if you're unsure. Those, I know there was a conversation about STS sheets, which we'll get onto in a minute, but you shouldn't really have to go looking for that. It should be readily made available. And I'm not saying that, techs should have to understand STS sheets, because yes, I do again totally agree in the fact that brands should obviously say what is in their ingredients.
And just to add a little note there, like, you're legally required to have an STS sheet of the products you're using in your business. So bear that in mind. You should have them readily available, because it doesn't just talk about ingredients. It talks about if there's a spillage, if there's any type of injury and stuff like that, how to safely, it covers all that as well. So you legally have to have STS sheets of every chemical you're using, and even down to bleach for your toilet. But
that's a different.
We'll let you go into that. But and do you know what? It's scary, and it's a shame, the state of the industry, of why nail techs are having to do even more due diligence than they normally would in a different profession, because of bad eggs, bad apples. Bad eggs, bad apples, yeah. And I'm not naming names, I'm not implying anyone like that. There's just and it happens in every industry. There's always cowboys, those who want to make a quick buck, or those who would take shortcuts or whatever. And the industry, the reason why so many nail techs have to dig so deep into the chemistry, into the STS sheets, into forums, Facebook community groups to find out all the information, is because of the untrustworthiness and stuff.
It's because of brands not providing that. And it's a shame because, again, echoing back to what that post said and looking through a couple of the comments, I'm a trained nail technician. I trained in beauty, nails. I was never once taught how to read an STS sheet, because I was just taught how to apply nails safely, correctly, and get the best outcome for that. We are not chemists at the end of the day. And I do genuinely believe that, every profession, you go to that person's profession because they know what they're doing as their job, but they shouldn't need to know every ingredient.
There's an expectation that if I'm a client of you who's a nail tech, you've done your due diligence and that the products you're using are automatically safe. So that's the question. Is it your responsibility to make sure you're applying gel polish to my nail that you know is good? Are you just assuming that they're safe, or have you done any due diligence? And should nail techs do any further research, or should they just listen to the brand? And if you want to put some rose-tinted glasses on, you shouldn't have to do any further. You should just trust the brand. But unfortunately, the state of the industry, and it pains me to say that you probably have to do a bit of a check. And that's what HONA's been trying. We've been shouting about transparency since day one. Since day one, we've been shouting about it. And it's a massive shame about the industry now that you can't just trust them.
That you can't just trust the brand. Yeah. I'm always going to go back to education, because I truly believe that education should always come first, and I love always learning new things. But where does that stop? Yes, I do believe that nail techs should be educated in what they're using, but that should start right from the beginning. So like I say, I was never taught about STS sheets. I was never taught about ingredients of gel polish. I was just taught the basics of how to apply it safely, and that was kind of it. But I think over the years, it's sort of the whole industry has evolved, and I just think education needs to keep up. I think brands need to keep up. So yes, I do agree to some extent that it should be part of the nail tech's.
Okay, what is the nail tech's responsibility in your opinion? In 2025, in this day and age, with all the information on social media about allergies, all the misinformation out there, what is the responsibility, in your opinion, of the nail tech?
So I think that there is so much information out there. Yes, you could get lost in a minefield. There's no need to. I think just the basics enough that you know that you're providing a safe service, that should be enough to get you by. You shouldn't need to know the full name of every ingredient. Do you know what I mean? I think that now, HEMA-free is just such a thrown around word. I think you should know what HEMA is.
Yeah.
But you never taught about
and
that
I think most
in
people
college
do.
type thing.
But it's a wider discussion here. But HEMA-free is just getting replaced with other ingredients.
Yeah, exactly.
Like acrylate copolymer is the number one ingredient in a lot of gel polishes, and acrylate copolymer is just a mixture of lots of acrylates. It doesn't really tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's loads of different ingredients in bread. You can have all different types of bread. There's just categorized as bread. But
Yeah.
that's a different kettle of fish, which I'll dive into. But I think in 2025, unfortunately, a nail tech does need to do a bit more due diligence than the makeup artist down the road, the hairdresser down the road, who, do you know what I mean? They because of the industry and the lack of transparency there has been previous, that it is an expectation now that they need to do a little bit more research in what they're using.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm not expecting for people to go searching through every single ingredient. I just think that it is a little bit part of the nail tech's responsibility, just from my own personal, opinion as well, to just be aware of what type of
And do you know what? It's
product
horrible.
you're using.
It feels horrible that we're saying. Do you know what I mean?
But no,
it's
no.
horrible.
Think of it from this. Think
Because,
of it from this perspective.
You should 100% have full confidence in the product you're choosing, and I truly believe any HONA tech has full confidence. They don't. I would encourage them, but they don't need to check our SDS sheets, or they don't need to dive
We've been
into
so
seeing.
open about that from the
Yeah,
beginning.
and I think that's what I've been trying to do with the industry. By us doing it, there's no reason why your current brand doing it.
But think,
do you know what I mean?
right, I'm going to throw a complete spanner in the works here now. So I'm going to just say, for example, I'm going to relate it kind of back to what we were talking about last week. So whether price, for example, will influence somebody's decision. Now, mentally, if I go to a car garage, I just expect that the car garage would know what they're doing to my car. But they'll give me different options of tyres, for example.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know as a customer what the best tyre is, but I know that this one up here costs, I don't know, £140 for the tyre. This one down here is £30 for a tyre. So again, kind of relating that is, well, do they know what's best for me? Is it because it's the most expensive, or is it the least expensive? And the point I'm kind of trying to get at is,
I think the point you're trying to get at is that if you're buying a really, really cheap product, that you're knowingly probably buying a substandard product for something.
Yes.
And so you're willing to take that risk.
yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah. But I think ultimately, I just want to clarify, if you're shopping from HONA, it is 100% our responsibility that you are provided with safe and ethical and moral products.
And not
It's
only that, but
100% our
the
responsibility.
education comes along with it.
And you get
as
the
well.
education along with it as well. There's a ton of tutorials. We have blended learning. If you live in the world's most remote place and you can do an online course, we have educators all around the country. There is a ton of information and education for you, as well as us being the type of brand that's being transparent. We rebranded to the word true, to be transparent, to show you, because we want to be that type of company.
Yeah.
And I think the whole post from Sam was that they shouldn't have to do it, but unfortunately, until the industry has a big shake-up, and there's other brands like HONA that are trying to shake it, until there's a bigger shake-up in the industry, I think you guys kind of have to do a little bit of extra care, and that's such an unfortunate thing. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Should we read some of the comments on the post?
Yeah.
We won't name anyone, so don't worry.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see quite a few other brands mentioned on it and agreeing with what we're saying and stuff as well. So we've got a nail tech here who's commented, I think it should be down to the tech to do a conversion course for the brand they choose to move to. But the conversion courses should be made accessible from the brands with the basic need to know info, so the techs are equipped with the info they need to use that product. So there you go. So this tech goes on about, it's all well and good a brand selling an amazing ethical moral, but like if you're not taught how to use that product correctly, it doesn't matter. So it's a two-parter. So she's saying the nail tech needs to be educated on that brand, but that brand also needs to provide the product so the education is there available for them.
Yeah, which is why, again, relating back to education, I strongly believe that every single time we bring something new out, there's a tutorial to go along with it. And whether it's just a free, quick tutorial that we put up on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, or we go into our sort of paid online courses or in-person courses then as well.
Yours are good. This is from a different brand as well, so shout out. It's a brand's responsibility to bring quality products and nail tech to apply properly. To meet regulation, brands should have a CPSR, which ensures quality of ingredients and meets legal requirements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's nice to see
Should we read what we said? Do you want? Because we commented on it. And I'll read what this is. I wrote this, by the way. So
and I think
I wrote this at like midnight. I seen it and I was just like, I'm definitely replying.
But it's so hard, isn't it? Because again, like on a post, just again on social media type thing, you can only sort of put a little snippet of what you really want to say, which I think is why it was good to then bring it to the podcast.
Like me and you had this we had this conversation the next day anyway, so let's just chuck it on a podcast. So look, this is what HONA said to the Daily Nails post. We completely agree that the responsibility for safety starts with the brand. It's our duty to formulate products that are not only safe but backed by transparent, accessible information / education. Nail tech shouldn't need a chemistry degree to do their job. The products you use should come with the knowledge, training and clear guidance you need to work confidently and protect your clients. We've been trying to build trust with tech since we started. Your role should be creating beautiful nails. Our role is making sure you can do that without risking your health or your career. Nail techs aren't chemists.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
And at the end of the day, as well, I like what you put in there. You're protecting you as well, the nail tech, not just your client.
Oh my God, yeah, this is the big thing. Like, so
you're in contact with this every single day.
Yeah, we're one of the most outspoken and transparent people when it comes to ingredients, and like we get as much hate as we get love. So it is on a fine knife, and that's why you get a lot of brands offering both. Do you know what I mean? They give both options.
Humour-free and non.
Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because we are firmly in the you don't need it camp.
Yeah.
It rubs people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're not saying you have to use us.
But that's another podcast in itself, in my opinion.
Because we're firmly in that camp, we get a bit of hate from it and stuff like that. And look, it is what it is. You don't have to love us, but all we're trying to do is this is what we believe in and we're going to stick to it. And when you see comments and posts like this from Sam, and it all stems from other brands and companies not being transparent with what they're doing. And that is the opposite of what we are. We are 100% transparent.
Yeah, but going back to, again, you guys being the ones that are in contact with this, I state this every single time, I teach. The importance of the fact that you guys are using these products multiple times a day, every single day. Your clients are only coming back to you every 2, 3, 4 weeks. So that's their sort of limitations with the exposure to it. You are doing this multiple times a day.
Here's another good comment on the Daily Nails Instagram post. It's a long one, so buckle in. I believe our duty as nail professionals sits both in artistry and responsible practice, but with realistic boundaries. It isn't feasible for every tech to have the depth of chemical knowledge that a chemist holds. We do have a professional obligation to understand the fundamentals of product safety, proper usage, and potential risks. That's part of protecting our clients and our own health. However, the responsibility for formulation, transparency, thorough ingredient breakdowns, and accurate safety education lies squarely and with manufacturers and brands. They're the ones creating these products and should be providing clear, accessible, and comprehensive training and documentation in line with current regulations, and not expecting techs to become chemists in their spare time.
That's a great response.
It does go on a little bit more, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I think it's kind of everyone understands that nail techs currently know that they have to do more than the makeup artist or the hairdresser down the road. HONA's here to try and change that. Like, hopefully in 10, 15 years, the cream rises to the top. HONA, along with 3 or 4 other brands who I really, really respect, doing the same thing, will be the main players, and then the trust comes back. Because that's what I think ultimately it comes down to. There's a lack of trust from nail techs to brands in the industry, and it's heartbreaking because ultimately, do you know what I mean? We try so hard to build trust, and when others break that trust, it affects us all.
Everyone.
Affects us all.
Yeah, that's the thing. It tarnishes everyone, and it's hard then, isn't it? Because, like you say, we've kind of been pushing this from the very beginning, and we don't want to be that brand or you know, like you say, the other brands that kind of come out and say, you know, we've been doing this, we've been shouting this from the very beginning, because that to me is like a very much told you so type thing. And we're never that brand.
No.
But we have been doing this from the very beginning, and there's a reason that we've been doing it from the very beginning, and it's because we truly, truly believe that your job shouldn't need to be harder than it is.
And do you know what? It's not that hard to be truthful, guys.
It's really
not that hard. It's just the reason people aren't truthful is because they're putting profits, money.
Money is a big thing.
Do you know what I mean? Being, like, having no HEMA in there, no HPMA, no IBOA, no TPO, the list carries on. Having none of that in there is more expensive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more expensive. So it is, to a degree, a reason a lot of people say we don't add them in there because like they work ultimately, but they are more affordable as well. And what I'm trying to get at as well is that if a brand wants to have a lot of HEMA, up to 30% in their product, that is, I think that's around thereabouts. That's around the safe amount. They can. But I don't understand why they need to misinform and lie about it. It's because of the stigma attached to HEMA. So they know that, if we don't say it's in there, or we say there's a massively reduced one, we can still try and get those that are concerned about it. But on side. And the ones who don't use it as a priority, we'll still keep them because it works. So they're trying to get both pies. Do you make sense? So further on in the post, and it's a recurring theme in the comments, she says, "I'm truly fed up."
Yeah.
Do you think nail techs are fed up of this? Do you think they're desperate for something to change?
I think so. I think that there is a huge talk going on in the industry about this, and it's, you know, it's not the first time I've heard it, but it's the first time I've seen it being sort of like publicly spoken about, which is really good, because it does make people think.
What needs to change? If techs are fed up, what needs to change for them? We've been trying. I know 3 or 4 brands who I ultimately respect have been trying. What more can we do?
Here's something controversial. Do you think by them saying they're fed up, is it that they're fed up of their brand that they're currently using not providing the sort of truthful matters? Or is it that they're fed up of just the industry about it? Yeah.
I think ultimately they're fed up. I think they're fed up of the conversation. They're fed up of having to have the need to have the conversation. They're fed up that they have to really, really dig deep into the ingredients to see if this works with my morals, my ethics, my clients. I think they're fed up of that.
So here's my opinion then. If you're fed up of having to search for that, why are you not using a brand that is already transparent?
Yeah.
That's controversial. I know that that's controversial.
I think the argument would be my current product works so well, though.
But if your current product is working so well, but you cannot find the relevant information.
And you're fed up of having the conversation with clients who go, oh, I've seen this on TikTok. Or you hear a little bit of industry news like so-and-so lie on their SGS, so-and-so don't use this, so-and-so have more, I don't know, HEMA in than they don't. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and you start questioning, and that's what you're fed up of.
And ultimately, at the end of the day as well, it is down to money. It's a huge expense as well. So say, for example, you have invested a lot of money in a brand.
Yeah, I know.
It's heartbreaking at the end of the day.
Me and Mel, who Mel helps us work on our website and stuff, and she said to me a while ago, we're asking nail techs to change. So when we're trying to win a conversion over, like, we're asking them to give up on years of a product education knowledge on that particular brand, asking them to financially swap out. Mm-hmm. And it's a big issue. It's a big huge challenge for them, and it's all the trouble you have to tell your clients, switching them over, finding new color matches, the expense. Like, there's going to be a little bit of change, isn't it, from wear and tear and breakages and stuff like that as you get used to the new.
Yeah, they will, and that's the thing.
And you're asking a nail tech to do this when they don't necessarily have to, but then a piece of information comes out, and they're like, I'm fed up of having to hear or see this, and I'm fed up of having to double check.
And then having your clients
what is on the bottle
is well.
Yeah, and I sympathise. I really, really do sympathise.
But do you remember...
and the last thing I want to do now is come out and say, oh yeah, but aren't we the heroes like that? Because that's not what I'm saying. This damages all of us.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember the story that came out on This Morning? It was a couple of years back about the whole DIY thing at home.
Yeah.
And the word HEMA was actually used on This Morning, and all of a sudden clients knew what HEMA was, and clients had never asked about HEMA before. But then all of a sudden, clients are questioning their nail techs, and if their nail techs aren't informed, it just puts that seed of doubt in not just you, but then your brand, and then you're like, well, should I be knowing this? Am I good at my job? And it's a difficult one at the end of the day, isn't it? It is hard.
Do you think makeup artists and hairdressers are having to do this level?
I would believe so, but we're not in that industry, so it's hard to say. It's things down to ingredients and patch testing and bits like that. Like, let's just take patch testing for an example. After COVID, my insurance companies made me repatch test everyone in regards to like tinting and things like that. And I know that hairdressers had to do the same. So, there's bound to be some form of talks going on within their industry, but we're not in a...
Do you think at this level? Like, when I mean this, do you mean this volume?
I don't know. We can't... I wouldn't like to comment on that because it's not our realm.
Yeah, okay then.
But I think across every industry that is putting a chemical product onto another human being, there should be that level of responsibility that falls to the brand directly first.
So, got in the weeds a bit there, didn't we? You can tell we're a bit passionate about this one. A bit passionate about it.
And as Mike said, we're not here to be biased or anything like that. Like, this is our opinion at the end of the day.
And what you've got to understand, guys, is that we've been saying this from day one. And so we've got strong opinions on there. Yeah. And we want a industry where nail techs completely trust their brand, that they believe in the ingredients that's in there, they believe in the SDS sheets. We want an industry where you guys don't have to chuck on a lab coat and a goggles to apply a pair of nails. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be...
We just want a safer industry all around.
Yeah, and It is 100% possible. And I do feel like even if it's not massively obvious, the industry is moving towards a more positive place. We like to think that we've helped that. We like to think that we help move the needle. With us being transparent, brands are definitely more transparent now. Any new brand emerging definitely know what they should and shouldn't be doing.
You are seeing now, aren't you? A lot more brands that are coming out now. Straight away, they're going for
full SDS sheets, transparency, ingredients. And look, they should. They should. And if they don't, there's a reason. But they should. And if the bigger brands are seeing what companies like HONA and others are doing, there's a reason they're not doing it. Or if they haven't changed yet, they will change. Cool, that was deep. That was deep. Do you want to hear a little phrase I was going to say, but I wasn't able to sneak it in?
Go on then.
Yeah, so if you're a nail tech with rose-tinted glasses on, looking at your brand, you ain't going to see the red flags. What do you think of that?
I knew you mentioned something about rose-tinted glasses, and I was like, where's he going with this?
So do you know what I mean? There's a little line there. If you don't want to see the red flags, you're not going to. If you like, my brand's absolutely fine. I don't care about the noise in the industry. My brand works, it's fine. Because you're looking
that's not to bash you as a nail tech.
No, but if you're looking, scrutinize HONA, scrutinize your current brand, scrutinize the brand down the road where you want to potentially look at. Do your due diligence. Do you know what I mean? Don't look at your brand with rose-tinted glasses on, because you won't see the red flags.
Mic drop.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a passionate one. Me and Charlotte.
You can tell Mike gets into it, because this is a type of podcast that I'll just chip in here and there, and then Mike will take over.
Yeah, we are passionate about it. Look, I know, us even having this conversation is people going to be rolling their eyes going, guys, stop talking about it. That's what we're fed up about. But look, we want the industry to be a better place, and unfortunately, conversations like this, while uncomfortable, need to happen.
And they're happening more and more often as well. So, but that to me is a positive.
I guarantee you, on HONA's entire existence, there will be a change, for better or for worse. We'll be there, hopefully, to help steer that change. But there will be a change, and there will be a time where you guys won't even need to really worry about this, because the cream rises to the top, and the brands remaining will be the ones that truly care about you, nail health, and client safety.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with a really much more fun one, I promised. Take care.